Welcome to BSc Statistics students. In this lesson, I discuss the relation between f and chi-square distributions. The two distributions f and chi-square, what is the relation? For which I consider f distribution and I establish the relation with the chi-square distribution. I give you a statement. If f follows f distribution with n1, n2 degrees of freedom, then as n2 tends to infinity, let it be chi-square is equal to n1 f follows a chi-square distribution with n1 degrees of freedom. This is what the relation. What is the relation? F follows n1 and 2. In f is a statistic. It follows the distribution with n1 and 2 degrees of freedom. Then, if we consider n2 tends to infinity, large values of n2, then n1 into f, which is nothing but a chi-square. Let me consider chi-square n1 into f, which is if we consider chi-square, it follows a chi-square distribution with n1 degrees of freedom. So n1 into f follows a chi-square with n1 degrees of freedom as n2 tends to infinity. That is what the relation between f and the chi-square distributions. To prove this result, I consider the probability density function of f distribution as n2 tends to infinity. You understand, right? So what I consider, limit n2 tends to infinity, f of f. This is probability density function of f distribution, which means limit n2 tends to infinity, f of f, probability density function, n1 by n2 whole power n1 by 2 of f distribution divided by beta of n1 by 2, n2 by 2 multiplied by f power n1 by 2 minus 1 divided by 1 plus n1 by n2 f whole power n1 plus n2 by 2. This is what the probability density function of f distribution. You see here, observe here, n1 by n2 whole power n1 by 2, beta n1 by 2, n2 by 2, f power n1 by 2 minus 1 plus n1 by n2 f whole power n1 plus n2 by 2. For which, because limits are depending on the value n2, so therefore n1 terms are constants I am taking outside. That's all. Is equivalent to this is here n1 power, which is this is the n1 power n1 by 2 divided by n2 power n1 by 2. Now I am taking n1 power n1 by 2 outside. n1 power n1 by 2. Okay. So here I am writing limit n2 tends to infinity. Now n2 power n1 by 2 is there. So 1 by n2 power n1 by 2. I am writing here inside the factor. So here we have n2. So therefore we cannot take it outside. We have to apply the limits n2 tends to infinity. Now f power n1 by 2 minus 1. I am taking outside. F power n1 by 2 minus 1. Okay, this is also term does not consist of n2. Only n1, f, etc. So and the remaining terms, beta of n1 by 2, n2 by 2. That is what the another value. I have to convert in terms of gamma. Okay, I convert. Shall I convert now? Beta of n1 by 2, n2 by 2. I convert in terms of gamma. Gamma m divided by gamma n plus n. That is gamma of n1 by 2, gamma of n2 by 2 divided by gamma of n1 plus n2 by 2. That is n1 by 2 plus n2 by 2. Okay, gamma m divided by gamma m plus n. That is the formula of beta m gamma n. M is equal to n1 by 2, n is equal to n2 by 2. Now, remaining. Now you see here this value I take in the numerator. n1 plus n2 by 2 will be minus n1 plus minus n1 minus n2 divided by 2. So what I write here, multiplied by 1 plus n1 f divided by n2. I write n1 f divided by n2 whole power minus n1 by 2 minus n2 by 2. This is what the value you take in the numerator. I have taken this particular value in the numerator. It is in the denominator. So now I write three particular formulas, and so that we apply the formulas here. Limit n tends to infinity, gamma n plus k divided by gamma n is equal to limit n tends to infinity. We can write n power k. This value is n power k actually, but n is there. Therefore, I am writing limit n tends to infinity. Still, it was we have to apply limits. Still limits we have to apply. Right, so we can hope you can write it. So and the limit n tends to infinity 1 plus x by n whole power alpha is equivalent to e power 0 is equivalent to 1. That is one value where alpha is not a function of n. Limit n tends to infinity. Limit depends on n. Alpha should not be a function of n. Okay, other than the function of n. Limit n tends to infinity 1 plus x by n whole power n is equivalent to e power x. If it whole power, if it is whole power n, then it is e power x. This one x. So you remember these three formulas. So this problem will be finished. Right. Now come over here. Again come back and apply the limits as n2 tends to infinity. What you will get? We will see here. Right. If you observe, is equivalent to be, this is and what I am writing, I am adding and subtracting 1 here, minus 1 plus 1 in the power of n1. So that both will be the same powers. As you see here, this is also f power n1 by 2 minus 1. This is also n1 power n1 by 2 minus 1 plus 1. Okay, leave plus 1 and so that it will be n1 f whole power n1 by 2 minus 1. Okay, so therefore n1 power 1 remains, therefore into n1. Clear? n1 power 1, n1 power n1 by 2 minus 1, f power n1 by 2 minus 1 divided by, now you see gamma n1 by 2, it is a constant, does not depend on limits n2 tends to infinity. Therefore I am taking outside gamma of n1 by 2, right, multiplied by these values, these are the values. Limit, I apply the limits for every term. Okay, limit n2 tends to infinity. This term is there, but I take first this particular term. Okay, gamma n1 plus n1 by 2 plus n2 by 2. I am taking the numerator, so that this is gamma n1 by 2 plus n2 by 2 divided by, now here gamma n1 by 2 we have taken outside. Now gamma n2 by 2, gamma n2 by 2 multiplied by 1 divided by n2 power n1 by 2. Remember, this is the term still is there, right? Leave it, leave this particular term, and now consider this, separate two particular terms, power minus n1 by 2, power minus n2 by 2. That is limits, and apply limits also separately. Limits n2 tends to infinity, 1 plus n1 f divided by n2 whole power minus n1 by 2. That is the first value. And again multiplied by limits n2 tends to infinity. I write this is separately, yes, multiplied by, and limit n2 tends to infinity 1 plus n1 f whole power divided by n2 whole power n2. What I am writing whole power n2, but what about remaining whole power minus n2 by 2. So therefore I am writing as whole power minus 1 by 2. Don't think that, but I am considering limits whole power minus 1 by 2. No. After applying the value, limits as n2 tends to infinity, then for that value, whatever the result obtained for such value, I consider, I do the power minus 1 by 2. Okay, that is what my meaning. I don't mean that limit whole power, limit some particular value whole power minus 1 by 2. Right? So, hope you understand, right? So now it is equivalent to b, remaining all the values finished. Right. So now you see what I write here. Now I apply the formulas. You see one by one. Is equivalent to b. This is n1 f whole power n1 by 2 minus 1. This n1 I am writing here somewhere. Is equivalent to divided by gamma of n1 by 2 multiplied by limit. Now you see here gamma n plus k, n is this is n2 by 2, k n1 by 2 divided by gamma n2 by 2. This formula becomes limit n tends to the n power k. Now you see here, this is limit n2 tends to infinity. This is n power k, that is n is n2 by 2 whole power k n1 by 2. Do you understand that? Multiplied by 1 by n2 power n1 by 2. See, hope you understand why I have taken limits here. Because still the term n2 here, you have to apply the limits for n2. Limits for n2, you remember that. You have to still apply the limits for n2. Because n2 here remains. N is this, k is this, n power k, n2 by 2 whole power n1 by 2. 1 by n2 power whole power n2 power n1 by 2. Now n2 power n1 by 2 will get cancelled. 2 power n1 by 2 is there. Limits for 2 power n1 by 2, limits n2 tends to infinity, 2 power n1 by 2, it is 2 power n1 by 2, because there is no n2. So therefore, now this particular limits removes, leave it. Now come over here, limit n2 tends to infinity, 1 plus n1 f divided by n2 whole power minus n1 by 2. This is nothing but limit n tends to infinity 1 plus x by n whole power alpha. Alpha is not a function of n. Limits depends on n2. Function whole power is not depending on the value n2. The power value is not n2. Therefore, this value is 1. Okay, this value is this formula value is 1. Now you see, observe this. Limit n2 tends to infinity 1 plus n1 f divided by n2 whole power n2. Limits are depending on n2. You observe the third formula. Limit n tends to infinity 1 plus x by n whole power n is equal to e power x. 1 plus x by n whole power n. That is 1 plus x. X is n1f divided by n2. Limits are n2. Therefore n2 whole power n2. Therefore the formula is e power x. What is x? n1f. Therefore it is e power n1f. Not finished because whole power minus 1 by 2. Clear? Why I have written minus whole power minus 1 by 2? I have separated to understand very clearly. So therefore whole power minus n1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2. Clear? So now come over here. Limits were finished. Here also I finished the limits. n1 into n1f whole power n1 by 2 minus 1 divided by gamma of n1 by 2 multiplied by. Now this particular limits finished because if you apply the limits for 2 power n1 by 2 it will be same 2 power n1 by 2. So therefore I am writing 1 by 2 power n1 by 2. 1 by 2 power n1 by 2. Okay, limits finished. So here is the term e power x whole power y. X into y. Here it is minus 1 by 2. Here it is e power minus n1f divided by 2. That is what the values which remains here. Okay, this is what the values here. What is this? Limit n2 tends to infinity. F of f, the probability density function of f distribution. As n2 tends to infinity. Now what we have to consider? n1f is equal to chi square. Whether it follows a chi-square distribution or not with n1 degrees of freedom that we have to observe, right? That we have to prove, right? So with this, hope you understand the steps of why, how we are applying these formulas and we got the values, right? We got the remaining the values, right? So now I frame in a particular position value is equivalent to be, this is 1 n1 you keep outside and 1 by 2 power n1 by 2 gamma of n1 by 2 and e power minus n1f divided by 2 and n1f whole power n1 by 2 minus 1. This is what the limit n2 tends to infinity f of f. This is what the probability density function of f as n2 tends to infinity. Now I am using Jacobian method, not completely, just I will tell you only the formula and so that I finish the result. Okay, right? Hope you understand this. Right? Whenever you want to do the Jacobian transformation method, that is for a known value variable, for known variable and create probability density function, how to calculate unknown variable and probability density function. So for which if I consider, I do here, chi square is equal to n1f, so you can consider here chi square is equal to n1f, okay, and then f is equal to chi square divided by n1, and Jacobian is going to be calculated by dou f divided by dou chi square, unknown variable, known variable, known variable with unknown variable. F is known variable, chi square is unknown variable now at present. So therefore unknown variable is going to differentiate with known variable. Known variable is going to be differentiate with unknown variable. Unknown variable చేత differentiate చేయబడాలి. Dou by dou chi square of f. F is known, chi square is unknown, right? So differentiate with respect to chi square and it is 1 by n1. So Jacobian is 1 by n1. So n1 is positive, therefore 1 by n1 is always positive, right? So therefore, what is the one variable transformation method? F of f y of y is equal to fx of x multiplied by Jacobian. So fx of x is available. If you replace n1f with chi square, you replace with n1f with chi square, then automatically this function will be obtained. Only the term is Jacobian. Jacobian is going to be applied. Now you see apply the Jacobian. That is 1 by n1 the value. So it's equivalent to be n1 into now this is nothing but probability density function of chi square. Okay, probability density function of chi square, where in which case n1f is equal to chi square. If you consider Now it is n1 into 1 by 2 power n1 by 2 gamma n1 by 2 e power minus n1f is chi square, e power minus chi square by 2. Chi square is a variable, not chi, not square, chi square. Chi square is the entire thing, is one variable, and multiplied by n1f chi square power n1 by 2 minus 1. Hope you understand. This is what the density function multiplied by Jacobian, it is 1 by n1. Now n1 will get cancelled. That is the reason why n1 is going to be cancelled. That's what we are doing with the help of the Jacobian method, one variable transformation method. Jacobian is 1 by n1, so answer is get cancelled. So therefore, what is the remaining formula? 1 by 2 power n1 by 2 gamma n1 by 2 e power minus chi square by 2 and chi square whole power n1 by 2 minus 1. This is what the formula, probability density function of chi square. What we have considered, the density function of F distribution. As n2 tends to infinity, this was derived as the probability density function of chi square distribution. This is nothing but the probability density function of chi square distribution with the limits of 0 less than or equal to chi square less than infinity. This is what the limits of chi square. F distribution limits same, 0 to infinity. n1f. So you consider chi square is also lies between the same limits 0 to infinity. This is what the probability density function of chi square distribution. 1 by 2 power n1 by 2 gamma n1 by 2 e power minus chi square by 2 chi square whole power n1 by 2 n1 by 2 minus 1. Therefore, whatever you consider chi square equal to n1f, it follows a chi square distribution with n1 degrees of freedom as n2 tends to infinity. In the F distribution, F statistic which follows n1, F distribution of n1 and n2 degrees of freedom, in which you consider n2 tends to infinity, then chi square is equal to n1f follows a chi square distribution with n1 degrees of freedom. Hope you understand. This is what the relational part, the relation between F and chi square distributions. Thank you.